Hi everyone, welcome to the Politics Podcast. Thanks again for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for all the messages and all the comments, and it's great to be bringing you all the news and views from X. So like I say all the time, if you can, start an account yourself on X. It's very simple. Download it onto your phone, get someone to help you if you are not tech savvy, but it's a fantastic app. It is the #1 news app in the world, not in Ireland yet, as far as I know. The majority in Ireland still watch RTE News, and that's why I set up this podcast, because a lot of the stuff I bring you and a lot of the stuff I talk about does not appear on RTE News. So it's very strange. They must forget, as I always say, but I am here to remind them. So tonight we are going to talk about 3 items. The first one I want to talk about is the Irish tricolour, the Irish flag. So I was in France for a couple of days and I logged on to see my X account was lit up with news that there was an issue with the Irish flag, would you believe, in Ireland. So some councillors on Dublin City Council have a problem with the Irish tricolour flag flying from lampposts. Yes, you heard that well. So when I heard this news and I saw the video of the councillors talking, and I heard our Taoiseach Simon Harris also having an issue with it, also saying that the Irish flag has been hijacked. So I would love to know what he means by that. I would love to know how on God's green earth can Irish people flying Irish flags in any way, shape or form be called hijackers of that flag. So funny enough, when I saw the news and I went about my way in France, into the towns and villages of France, everywhere I saw, every town I went to had French flags flying. Every town, of many, many lampposts, many, many buildings, many, many homes. Now, the news back home here about the Irish flag was probably heightening my senses to noticing this. Only for that news, I would probably not have taken much notice of the French flags flying. But I thought to myself, wow, can you imagine the French government or French politicians coming out and telling the French locals to take down the flags? They are offensive to people visiting the country or to foreigners living in the country. It's absolutely outrageous. So I think there was even talk that the Dublin City Council were going to meet with Garda management to get the guards involved. Unbelievable. I'm going to play you the video now of the councillors talking. RTE News gave them a platform, by the way. I believe the lady councillor, Miss Redmond, I think that's her name. Yes, I think it's Redmond. Bear in mind when she's talking on this little clip that she is involved in some sort of recruitment agency. I'm not sure, is it bringing foreign nurses in or whatever the work she is involved in. But I remember reading a post when I was away about this councillor, that her actual job is to bring in foreign workers. And she's the one complaining on an RTE News piece about the Irish flag flying in Ireland. So I'm going to play you this piece now. And please listen very carefully to the words of the lady councillor and also of Councillor Dara Moriarty. I'm not sure what party he's in. I would hazard a guess that it's probably People Before Profit, Sinn Féin, or the Social Democrats. I am not sure. I will find that out. But listen to these councillors and listen to the way that RTE are so interested in interviewing them without checking first, is there any conflict of interest here? And bear in mind how outrageous the whole piece is. It is about Irish councillors, Irish politicians having a problem with Irish people hanging Irish flags on lampposts in Ireland. That's how ridiculous. It's like a comedy show, I'm telling you, every day. Every day is like a comedy show here. But listen to the piece yourself.
Respond to the flying of tricolours on lampposts in communities across the city, which are believed to be part of a campaign by anti-immigration groups. It follows requests by a number of councillors and residents groups for the council to take action in response to the practice, which they say is an attempt to intimidate and mark territory.
Over the summer, lines of tricolours have appeared on the streets of a number of areas across the capital, including Ballyfermot, Coolock, Finglas and the north and south inner city. A number of anti-immigration campaigners have posted online in support of the erection of tricolours. Now residents of the North Strand have written to the council to ask for the flags to be removed.
We're a wonderfully diverse community and neighbourhood, and that has really been added to over particularly the last decade, by all of our new neighbours who have come in. The message is coming from a very tiny minority. They're very vocal, but they are tiny. They don't speak for the rest of us. And the message seems to be one of intimidation, one of unwelcomeness and hate.
A number of public representatives have also raised questions about the flags.
The patriotism that those flying these flags are borrowing from is English nationalism, and I think it's rich to hear of Irish patriots borrowing from their English cousins on this issue. We absolutely have to stamp this out. I'm calling on Dublin City Council to remove flags that are being put up with hateful intent. People are going around videoing themselves putting these flags up, saying they're reclaiming our city, they're taking it back, and I think that type of hateful rhetoric has to be stamped out.
So, you hear Councillor Dara Moriarty say that we have to stamp this out. We have to stamp what out, Councillor? It's absolutely outrageous how an Irish flag hanging on a lamppost in Dublin or any other town in Ireland could be offensive to anyone. Because anyone who comes to Ireland knows what the Irish flag looks like, knows they are in Ireland. I mean, there's nothing written on these flags. How in any way, shape or form would you get the guards involved in something so ridiculous? Have we not enough going on in the country? Garda resources stretched, not enough Gardaí on the street. Dublin City not safe. And you, Councillor Moriarty and Councillor Redmond, think it's acceptable to go on to primetime news and tell all the people at home that you want to stamp out the flying of the Irish flag in Ireland. Absolutely outrageous. And like I said, when I was in France, I noticed it all the more. I noticed the French flag flying all the more because of this story back home. And I just imagined to myself, can you imagine me going up as a foreigner in France and telling the local French man who has his flag flying, excusez-moi, pardon, it's offensive. It's absolutely outrageous what we have to put up with. Offensive. And it only leads to more Irish flags going up, I presume. I presume everybody will have one flying out their window, even in apartments, in their gardens. Because there is no harm. There is no harm. As the Taoiseach says, it's been hijacked. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been hijacked. It has always been here. People bring them to Irish football matches, rugby matches, Olympics, the Irish team. No one's hijacked it. It's always been the Irish flag held in the Irish hands. And it is not offensive in any way, shape or form. It's only offensive to extreme left-wing NGOs who are embedded deep into political life here. And it's clear to see. So I would say that the guards won't bother their heads with something so trivial and ridiculous and pathetic. And they'll probably all go home and fly the Irish flags themselves outside their own homes. Drop it. It's ridiculous. Speaking of Ireland and NGOs and far left politics. A lovely priest called Father Brendan Kilcoyne, who incidentally has his own channel here on YouTube, and it's called the Brendan Option, as far as I know. He runs a regular channel, and as part of his talk the other night, he touched on immigration. And I'm going to play you a little clip from that because he also now, because he mentioned the word that you're not allowed to mention in Ireland, which is immigration, naughty Father Brendan, he's getting it in the neck now from media, obviously NGOs in the background, but the media are after him, the far lefties are after him. Oh, I'm going to play it for you now. Also, he didn't say anything crazy. He's just saying what everyone else is thinking. About time. So here's Father Brendan Kilcoyne from the Brendan Option podcast.
What I would openly call discriminatory immigration. And I mean discrimination in a positive, constructive sense. Now, if it were up to me, I would only permit Christian immigration into Europe. Because Europe's whole background and history has been shaped by Christianity. Yeah? I would only permit Christian immigration into Ireland. I think I think you can justify that on any number of grounds. Only Christian immigration.
So, Father Brendan there, who says that he would operate a discriminatory immigration system here in Ireland. And he says it's discriminatory in a good way, a positive way. And what he means by that is he would screen people and vet people. And he said he would only allow Christian immigration into a Christian Europe. And he is getting it from all sides now. And I don't know why he's getting it from all sides. Because he is talking sense. Absolute sense. We operate here a free-for-all, an open borders policy. People can come from wherever they want on the globe and come in with no passports, as we've covered before. No passports. And waltz on in if they just say the words asylum. And then they can apply for family reunification. Sometime down the road, they can apply and bring over 20 family members on average. It's absolutely crazy. And then we have a self-deportation system, as I've covered here before on the podcast. What a ridiculous system. How can you deport people with just a simple letter to say, please go home and maybe send us a postcard when you go home, because I don't know how else we're going to know that you go home. So that's the only way. Send a postcard, drop us a line that you got home. It's not funny. That is the system of deportation we operate in Ireland. None of these things have changed. There's been chaos over the last 2 years, specifically, chaos in Ireland with immigration, chaos with communities. It obviously hasn't gone unnoticed with Father Brendan Kilcoyne. It's gone unnoticed with his fellow clergymen. It seems to have gone because they're all silent. But Father Brendan is brave enough to cover it. And bearing in mind that we have a new Garda Commissioner now, Garda Justin Kelly, who on the first day of his press conference, of his very first day as Garda Commissioner, stated that the number one threat in Ireland today is from radical Islam. That didn't go unnoticed on Father Brendan Kilcoyne, I'd say. It went unnoticed by the usuals, the lefties and the NGOs and all these people and many politicians. They didn't highlight it. But that's what Garda Justin Kelly has said. It's a number one threat. So when Father Brendan Kilcoyne says that he would only allow immigration from Christian nations, That is common sense for the safety and the peaceful life of the people of this country. For the children growing up, for the elderly now, for the working people and the middle-aged, they want to come and go to work, and they work damn hard in peace and safety. And the Commissioner knows, and we know, those of us who have been talking and talking about this issue for years now, we know, Father Brendan Kilcoyne knows, but the majority of the nation, if you're not on X, if you're not wide awake, you won't know much. So the Garda Commissioner says the real threat is from radical Islam into Ireland. He's not like the previous commissioner who didn't even know that his own recruitment teams were going into IPAS centres, which is the asylum centres, recruiting to join the Guards. So that was Commissioner Drew Harris, when questioned, didn't know. He turned around and he asked his colleagues, what? Are we? When there were photos and footage of them in the centres. So he's gone. We now have Justin Kelly. We will see how he does, but he did speak sense, as I said, on that first day of the press conference. And we wish him well in the job. But the Irish people and the people of Ireland, the children especially, and the children of the future deserve a safe, peaceful country. They deserve to come and go to school in safety. And this, I presume, was Father Brendan's message on his last podcast. And I hope when he reads things, or if anyone contacts him, I hope he deletes the emails and rips up whatever letters he gets and blocks any numbers who may call him. Because it's not worth it. You spoke the truth, Father. Well done. Well done. And more will follow, I'm sure of it. But that's the extreme left for you in this country. They don't want us flying the Irish flag. They don't want the Irish priest telling us what we all think anyway. But many are scared to say. They have a chokehold on media, politicians, the extreme left. And it's about time people started to shake it off and not be scared anymore. It's unbelievable. So the last thing I will speak about is Viktor Orban. The terrible, terrible, terrible man that Viktor Orban is, as is portrayed by our political class and the mainstream media. They tell us that this man is outrageous. This man is a dictator. Worst of the worst, they tell us. He came to a match, Hungary versus Ireland match the other night. Imagine this, a leader of a country in the EU. Our government are so love-struck by the EU, and they bow down to Brussels and they do what Brussels says. But when one of their member states, Hungary, when the leader of one of the member states comes to Ireland for a match with his scarf on, I saw him, Hungarian football team, they didn't even send anyone to greet him or meet him. Now that to me is absolutely outrageous. How can a leader, and I know we may say he wasn't here on a state visit or an official visit, but can you imagine Emmanuel Macron coming for a match and not one of our government or ministers go and meet him, say hello to him, sit beside him. Absolutely outrageous. So then I started thinking, I wonder why. Because Budapest, I must get there one day, but Budapest, by all accounts, is absolutely a fantastic city and clean and safe. I wonder why. The people, by the way, are very happy, the Hungarian people. They are very, very happy with this leader they have. So where are our government getting the idea, and the media and the NGOs, where are they getting the idea that he is a dictator? So then you start to realize and look up, what's the policies in Hungary? What's going on? What's the life like there? And you get your eyes widened. He protects Hungary from mass immigration. Would that be why our government don't like him and the NGOs? He has just done he's very, very family orientated. He has just done 2 amazing policies. One in particular is due to the falling birth rate, which we are suffering from here in Ireland and the West and all the UK and France and Germany and Italy. We are suffering from a severe birth rate crisis. And us in Ireland especially. We know that 50,000 babies have been aborted, Irish babies, since 2018, since the abortion legislation was brought in. And apart from that, the young people can't have babies, many of them, because they don't have homes. They cannot start families. So obviously the birth rate is tumbling, free falling. But Viktor Orban has now announced very recently, women who have 3 children, I think it's 2 or 3 children or more, are exempt from income tax for the rest of their lives. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that policy in Ireland? We would see the birth rate shoot up. There is no initiatives in Ireland, government-led initiatives to increase the birth rate. It's absolutely astounding. Do they not have advisors to tell them what will happen when the birth rate plummets? So I was thinking, is that why? It must be why. They hate him so much. I can't see a reason. Maybe you can comment under this video. What is the reason they hate Viktor Orban so much? Those 2 reasons is why I think they hate him. Because he protects his country and he keeps his nation safe by not bowing down or getting involved with mass immigration. It's very simple not to do. It's very simple to control your borders. Micheál Martin, our Taoiseach, said himself that 80% of the people coming to Ireland seeking asylum are economic migrants. So it's very, very simple to halt the madness that's going on and make policies like Viktor Orban and increase our birth rate and see the nation start to thrive. But no, they choose to slate the man, not meet him, not even greet him, not even say hello. They could have sent not even a minister, send some TDs to meet the man. He's part of the European Union. Don't you love the European Union? He's part of your crew. I think it was absolutely outrageous that they didn't do that. And Viktor Orban, and if you're Hungarian women now, ladies in their 20s, congrats, and the best of luck with all the little babies that you're going to have. It's fantastic. So that's it. So a recap of today's news since I came back from France. The flag issue, which is a non-issue, but which has been raised as an issue by these idiotic, woke, far left, extremist people who think it is offensive to fly the Irish flag on a lamppost in Ireland. It's ridiculous. Actually, the government themselves should be paying for and flying for the erection of Irish flags on every lamppost in Ireland, because this is Ireland. It's very simple. It's not offensive. It's not an issue. You just wasted a whole story on RTE News and a whole piece, but at least you got the people talking. And I haven't come across one person who finds it offensive. So if you have come across that, RTE, I don't know. It's ridiculous and it's pathetic. And it's about time you started doing the proper news. Interview actual people, actual Irish people, communities who are in distress over everything that is happening. So, I wish Father Brendan Kilcoyne well on his podcast. I'm sure his viewers will shoot up now, because he took a great step there of telling the truth. And if you found it offensive, like if you found the Irish flag offensive, well, then you really look in the mirror now. You need to look in the mirror, because none of it is offensive. None of it. And if you find Viktor Orban offensive, I don't know. So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, share it, like it, tell your friends about it. Most importantly, try and set up an account on X. Like I said, very simple. Once you get there, follow me, and you will all be awake extremely quickly. So I will see you on the next one. And like I said, I love this work and I'm having great fun. Take it easy. Bye.